Hi there, Montessori leaders. I'm Camilla Campuzano, the community manager of Montessori Thrive and Nido Marketing. Welcome to the Nido Marketing YouTube channel, where every week I make a video to help schools market their schools, grow their enrollment, and find a sense of community and support online. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking all about branding. And what I mean by this is building your school story and brand. This is so important when it comes to finding mission-appropriate families. You want to make sure that everything is consistent. It looks very representative of your school and it's cohesive. So things from your logo to the branding on your website to any type of graphics that you create, as well as building your mission statement and telling that important story of who you are and what you do and why it's unique. So let's go ahead and get started. So what are the benefits of focused branding when it comes to Montessori schools? Because we already know Montessori is such a big name. How can we make your school stand out through great branding for your overall Montessori marketing strategy? Well, when you have a great individualized branding, it really allows your school to stand out from the rest. We call this enhanced visibility and awareness. We know that parents are aware of Montessori to an extent, but we really want them to be aware of your school so that they can enroll and you can grow your program. So that's the goal when it comes to good branding and good marketing. Of course, when you have good branding, you want to make sure you're posting across platforms to increase that visibility. Great branding also allows you to build strong relationships because parents can really see if they align with your overall mission, vision, and your overall branding tells a story. They want to make sure that they're aligned to that. When you think of brands, in other terms, maybe technology brands or things in the grocery store usually go towards a certain lifestyle. A school is not much different. Parents want to make sure that the branding of that school aligns with their core beliefs and values so you can express what's important to you and attract those mission-appropriate families. You can also focus on engaging with the community through events, partnerships, and outreach programs. This is all a part of branding. Believe it or not, community building is a huge part of your overall story and how you're connecting with others and sharing more about who you are as a school and brand. And number 3, differentiating from competitors. There are probably a couple of Montessori schools in your area if you're in a highly populated area, or other childcare programs in your area that might be competing with you. So it's important to stand out amongst the rest. And great branding can really do this. If you have a great logo, if you have great graphics, if you have really put so much thought and effort into your mission statement and everything that will come together to tell that story, it will make you stand out from your competitors. And it will also allow you to attract those mission-appropriate families that align with everything that you're putting out there. I think oftentimes the first thing that comes to mind when someone thinks of a brand is the graphics, and I think this is a great place to start. Especially if you're building your school from the ground up, or if you want to go through a rebrand process, because graphics can really kind of tell where you're leaning towards. It can tell a lot about your identity, and it's really what tends to stick up. I think people are visual learners. When they're looking through so many different websites, through so many different schools, or getting so many different brochures, it's important to have a brand that looks cohesive, professional, and that really resonates with families. So really, great graphics are all about creating that visual impact, a lasting impact that parents can remember. These things include your logo. I really recommend, if you can, to hire a professional graphic designer to design your logo. I think a well-designed logo goes a long way, and it really says a lot about your community. You want to have a well-designed brochure. So you want to focus, of course, on the content of your brochure, but also how it looks, how it's laid out. Is it something that looks professional? Does it look outdated? Is it representative of your overall brand? Your school website is huge. This should really be number 1 because your school website is oftentimes how parents are forming their first impression of your school. They're going online, going on Google and seeing what's in their area, and they're going to click on your website. So you want to make sure you have a website that is beautifully designed, is full of that great content, but creates a visual impact that is lasting. Something that's, well designed, modern, easy to use, and uses the right colors. What I mean by this is, you don't want to have 50 shades of green if your school color is a specific type of green. and make sure everything is cohesive, everything ties together nicely, and is reflective of your school. Business cards as well. Some schools are going paperless, but I think it's nice to have business cards or handouts when parents come in for a tour or a visit, or when you're at community events, you can hand this out. It gives, again, a lasting impression, and it kind of gives a little introduction about who you are as a school. So put some thought into the design of that. T-shirts or uniforms, if your school has uniforms, or perhaps staff uniforms. All of this is, again, it's branding. When people see, children wearing your t-shirts out in public, they might be, oh, there's a Montessori school in my area. I didn't know that. I'll have to go and Google that. So make sure everything looks nice and branded properly. You want to make sure you put some time into thinking about your school colors. Again, hiring a graphic designer is so great for this because they can really help you when it comes to these ideas. Or maybe you have a great idea and you just want to make sure someone is executing the logo properly, so you can hire them to do that. But I highly recommend putting some time and effort into this. Also, videos and social posts. Nowadays, your social media platforms are an opportunity for branding, so you want to make sure your posts are reflective of your brand. Nowadays, you can design beautiful graphic posts, whether you hire a graphic designer or you use platforms like Canva. These are all great options. I also highly recommend creating well-edited videos to market your school, whether you post them on YouTube, you use them to remarket, or you use them on social media. Videos are really impactful, and it's great content to have. Here are just some samples of some of the work that we've done here at Nido Marketing for our clients. So things like t-shirts, print ads, or flyers. We do all sorts of graphic design. We also edit videos, things like this that can really help you market your school. These are just a few examples. With our unlimited graphic design service, if you have access to that service, you can pretty much just request anything that you may need, whether that's a t-shirt, business card, brochure, flyer, logo. We can help you with that. So just something to keep in mind. Another thing when it comes to branding is thinking about your mission statement. You want to make sure that you have a really well-written mission statement, something that sums up your personality and brand as a school. A good mission statement should really clarify your purpose and direction. What's your goal as a school is a good thing to ask yourself when you're writing a mission statement. It also should guide decision-making for those prospective families. Your statement should help parents understand if they're aligned with your overall purpose or not. If they're not a right fit, you don't want them in your community anyways. You want people who are ready to live your mission. A good mission statement should also build trust and credibility. It should really focus on transparency and what can be expected of your community as a school. It'll also differentiate your school. Every school has different values, and this is a great opportunity to express what you value and what makes you stand out. It should also be inspirational. A mission statement should be moving, and it should speak to the families who are going to be a right fit. So you can ask yourself, what difference do you want to make to families, your community, and future generations? Here's a sample of our mission statement that we have on our nidosite.com, which is our sample school website. Our mission is to prepare children for life. We celebrate each child's individuality and help them discover how they can best contribute to our world and culture. All children are naturally curious and love to learn. We support this innate drive by providing environments that meet children's developmental needs, by having a staff of loving and well-prepared adults, and by building a community of families that actively support our mission. So there, you can see, we've set some expectations and been transparent. We said we expect families to be a part of our community and help us build it. Our aim is to celebrate individuality, and we want to create basically citizens of the world. This is our goal as a school. So of course, you need to find your voice and what values you have. Maybe sit down with your team if you haven't created a mission statement and have them write a couple of words that come to mind when they think of your school community, and you can craft something like this and put it on your school website and brochure. Your website is a huge factor when it comes to your overall branding. It should be a strong representation of your overall brand and identity as a school. Again, you want to make sure you're using all the right colors, graphics, and imagery. Make sure all your photos are, high quality. They're beautiful. They display the Montessori environment, children at work. or whatever your focus is. If you're a forest school, if you're really into nature, make sure you have some greenery pictured in your school, things like this. So again, you want it to be unique to you. Make sure your content also reflects your voice and tone. So every school kind of speaks differently. So make sure all of your program information, your blogs, all sound like, they are created by you or are reflective of your overall brand, mission, goals, etc. Invite families to interact with you. So this means have a call to action. Make sure parents understand the next step that you want them to take. Also, make sure your school logo is always visible. We like to put it in the navigation bar, as you can see. In our sample website picture here, we have it on the upper left-hand corner. You can see the Nido Montessori school. This is a great place to put your logo, and of course, make sure it's high resolution and it looks nice. And also make an effort to educate families and guide them to take the next step. Overall, your website is your biggest digital marketing asset. You want to make sure you put some time into making sure that it's reflective of your brand. Community presence is also a huge element of branding. Outreach really goes a long way. We know that Montessori philosophy focuses heavily on community and everyone around us. So what does your school do in order to focus on this particular value? I'd love to hear your ideas on this in the comments below. But really, community presence is so huge when it comes to branding. This is why, you see so many local businesses, do things like sponsorships and things like that, because it really does have an impact. So here are some ideas beyond just, sponsorship that you can do when it comes to community presence. Number one is social media platforms. We say this is number one because it's free and so easy to have a social media presence nowadays. We definitely recommend having a Facebook and Instagram. These are great branding and storytelling opportunities. Make sure you're on these platforms and that you post regularly on these platforms. Partnerships and sponsorships are great. See if you can get in contact with local libraries to do some type of partnership. Maybe it's a reading hour, or you're offering free parenting courses to your local library. All of these things are great. You can also reach out to local museums, reading groups, parenting groups. You never know, maybe a parenting group nearby in your local community needs a space to meet up, and you can offer up your school. All of these things offer great opportunities for your school as a community and also as a brand to touch people in your local space. Referrals are also great. We know that every parent that walks through our doors for a tour may not be the right fit, but it's great when you can refer them to a school or a competitor that, is the right fit for them. And then hopefully they'll return the favor. This has happened to many schools out there. It's great to build those relationships. For instance, if you have a family that comes in and they have a child that has particular needs that you're not able to fulfill, but you know another school that can, you can refer them and they'll be so grateful. The family will be grateful to you because you've helped them on their school search journey, and the school will be grateful because they now have a member of a community that they can help. And that all comes back. So build those relationships and focus on community management and community building. Volunteer work is also great, especially if you have older children and adolescent programs. Make sure you get them out there in your community to offer volunteer work, but also you can offer up opportunities to local community yourself. For instance, if you have a garden, you can invite people in the local community to come and give a hand to your school. I also recommend hosting events for the whole community. Things like inviting parents for open houses go a long way. Hosting, maybe some Earth Day events or something like this can be really effective if it reflects your values as a school. So it really pays off in the long run. Ultimately, the goal with branding is to tell a story. So you have good branding when everything comes together cohesively to tell a good story of who you are and what your aim is. So your mission statement outlines your goals and values, your graphics align with your core values, and you stand out amongst the rest, and it makes your school memorable. Your website allows families to learn more about you and take the next step, and you have a place in your community that people trust. People trust you, and they know that you're a reputable school that is trustworthy and does a lot for the community. This is how you create great branding, and you really build on your Montessori marketing strategy. I do hope that you found this video helpful, and I want to also just call out that we do have a bunch of resources that can help you when it comes to building your brand and telling your story. Things from our unlimited graphic design services, where we can create videos for your school, logos, any type of business card, brochure, t-shirt, anything that you need in order to look professional and cohesive in your brand. We also do all sorts of Montessori content. This is important for educating families and letting them know more about the Montessori philosophy that your school believes in and builds its programs around. So that's also important. And we just help schools with marketing. We have all kinds of marketing services. So if you want to talk to us, you can always schedule a free consultation call. The link for that is in the description of the video below. So yeah, talk to us. We're happy to share some advice. It's no strings attached always. I'll be back next week with another Montessori marketing video. Until then, take care.